the dial, turn it loud. Miami's pride, make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score, raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, win it again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
Hello and welcome live to the CanesWear podcast with your number one Canes fan, Brad Tejeda, and myself, Brett, and we'll be joined soon by the legendary Uncle Cliff and Mando shortly. So it's a good day. Make sure you bring your beverages. It's beverages with Brett and Brad, double Bs. Like the Hurricanes have all the killer Bs. We're the double Bs, Brad. And I've got today my championship, five-time championship class, 83, 87, 89, 91, 01. Should have an asterisk, 02. Should have won 90, 96. Should have won 98. Should have won a lot. But let's hope I can replace this glass soon, Brad, with a real six-time national championship. But before we do that, we're going to have to get to state champions, which we're one game away from getting to state champs. So, Brad, how you doing today? Welcome to the CanesWear podcast.
Hey, I'm always here, right? Each and every day, pretty much for the most part. You can catch me on the CanesWear Daily Podcast, only on FTSN Network. And like you said, Brett, hopefully we can add another year onto that glass, right? Make it 24. Before we continue, you brought about two of our favorite guests that we have all the time on our Tuesday night show. Go ahead and bring one of them on the show. We got our guy, Uncle Cliff, with the awesome bow painting in the background and the awesome Canes light up sign in the back with his cool bar. What's going on?
Cliff's got Uncle Cliff. The last time we saw you before your migraine, you didn't have that big beard. Is that correct?
It grows pretty quick when you get old, buddy.
It does. I don't know about that yet. So, welcome, Cliff. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. I need to start having a cocktail like you, buddy.
Yes, you do. But I think it's your non-drinking hour. I'm drinking some Canadian whiskey and some club soda.
Nice.
This is a PG-13 show, so we are drinking it. I see Dolphin Derek out there. Where is everyone? I don't know, Double D, but if you want to join in, let us know. I'll be glad to have you on the program. We're going to start taking people on that want to talk Canes sports, and we're going to go ahead now. We're going to recap the big 52-45 victory by the Cardiac Canes, who did it again. Not for nothing. We thought we were at ease. 14-0 lead. It looks like we're not going to have to worry. And then boom, pow, wham, and thank you, ma'am. And kickoff return, fumble, touchdown. Before you know it, all my nails are gone. I'm just biting them like crazy. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that game? What do you think about the overall game, the Cardiac kids? Give me your thoughts before I give you mine.
Cliff, go ahead, man. Start us off.
Just the same thing like the last two games. It's crazy. It's just 3 games in a row, even though it was after a bye, which I already have PTSD from all the years bye. So, it started out good, and then like you said, after we were up 14, and then we kicked off to them, they returned it, and then we fumbled the next play. It was just a little crazy, but all in all, we fought hard. This team doesn't give up. There's no situation that this team could ever be in any game versus any team that I don't think that they could fight their way back of. This is, incredible. And all these other, I still see Virginia Tech fans all over the TL saying, "Oh, they're the call, bro." You think it's really just the calls? Because they're missing calls left on the right, us too.
Those don't count. Those don't count,
yeah,
Cliff.
Yeah, if you step out of bounds against us, you could run 100 yards. It doesn't matter.
Good point.
You can collar people. Last game, X got jumped up to catch a pass. They almost ripped his helmet off. You can call stuff left and right on anybody. So give me a break. This team, if this was any other team in America, they would be saying, what do we always say? Oh, they'd be saying, "Oh my God, look at how good they're playing. They're battling back. Oh my God, they were down 25 versus Cal and they came back. That's incredible." Yep. But since it's Miami, the hate is real. People up here where I live don't believe it. Like, no, it's not really like that. I'm like, yeah, it's like that. pay attention. You'll see it everywhere. It's
The
crazy.
hate is real, but you know what? But the people come in and tune into the Canes. Well, we just had the first sellout, ACC sellout ever in Louisville, the Miami Hurricanes. We've set some other records this year for teams, Brad, haven't we? For opposing
We sure
teams.
have. South Florida, extended that third tier for Raymond James Stadium. You can talk about the Cal game as well. First college game day out in Cal, and then with the Louisville game, I believe that was their first sellout in an ACC in conference game at home in like 7 years. So I mean, Miami just continues to do what they do best and be the Super Bowl opponents for all these teams. And Cliff brought up a lot of good points, right? If this was any other program or SEC team, them being down 14 to 20 plus points multiple games or battling adversity week in and week out, but yet getting the W, people are going to praise them and say, oh, this is a team that, they have gone through the ups and downs and yet they still find a way to win. Like this could be the magical season, right? They're not doing that for Miami, even though it's pretty obvious that we have yet to have that A+ performance on all three phases of the game. And yet you still have an obvious, not only Heisman candidate, but let's be honest, the number one Cam Ward, the guy is the Heisman front runner for a reason. And there's no doubt about it. When you watch any college football team out there, whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's nobody on the planet that's playing better college football than Cam Ward. But, going into this game, I'll say right off the bat, I thought this was probably one of Cam Ward's best complete games, even though it wasn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically wise, I want to say from an NFL GM or owner or just guys that have a draft board in front of them, this was one of those games where you really had a lot of check marks next to Cam Ward of just having those NFL type of throws and just knowing that, your defense isn't answering the calls on their end. And you're just yet again, drive after drive when it's the possession and you need a score, not just 3, but you need 7, or you need a first down on 3rd and 17 and you decide to tuck it and run. These are the little things that NFL GMs and draft guys look at, and Cam Ward helped themselves a lot. You saw the nice pass they had to Jacoby George in the back of the end zone in that first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible.
Or the touch pass that he had over the linebacker to a wide open Sam Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could go all in on with the diversity and of course the great runs that he had. He only had 7 runs, but when you go back and look at those 7 runs, they were in key moments, key drives that continue to push the football down the field. And we could talk about the running back room here shortly. I think we're finally starting to see a nice rotation. Me, Brett, and a lot of Cane fans have been asking for more Mark Fletcher. We started right off the bat with Fletcher, and you saw what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Fletcher was running like I mean, fantastic, like usual, like he's been. He picked off, and then obviously Damian Martinez. Obviously, I don't know if he got extra rest or he just said, "Listen, I've got to go all out in every single play." He became a different running back. He was dragging. I mean, people aren't even talking about Mark Fletcher, but they're talking about Martinez and those couple of carries he had that he's dragging the whole team. And on top of that, you had Allen playing great. People saying Allen should be the star. Allen running hard every single down. I mean, that's what I like to see. We carried the ball, probably more carries than we've had all year, correct?
Yeah.
It has to be up there. It has to be one of the either 1 or 2.
So
we've been a little bit down on Martinez and Brown, and both those 2 guys had their best games as Canes this week.
Yes.
Martinez ran like damn Marshawn Lynch.
He did.
Brown made great plays, You got to remember, you said Brad made a good point about Cam Ward. That probably is his best game for the scouts and stuff to look at. The only thing that he messed up on in the first quarter, he would have hit Horton in the fourth quarter for another touchdown.
Yep.
Horton had like 5-6 steps on that guy. He would have. It was done. He just made. But once he got his feet settled into the game and stuff like that, he kicked butt like usual.
You just hit it on the head, getting his feet settled, right? When you look at that first drive, not only against Louisville, but what I've noticed with Cam Ward in most of all these games, his first drive, it starts out a little slow. And when you really break down the mechanics and his feet placement, that is actually that first drive is where a little things get off suit, right? He's kind of got to settle down and kind of start the engine before he could really start to get going. And it's usually that first drive where he may have a couple hiccups, but all in all, after that, he's a well-oiled machine from that point moving forward. But you brought up a good point with Sam Brown having one of his best games at Miami. I think we can all agree as Hurricane fans, before the season started, we were looking at the weapons that Cam Ward had at wide receiver, and we were talking about possibly the Fantastic Four, right? Jacoby George, Isaiah Horton, Xavier Strepo, and Sam Brown. Well, it seemed like mostly all these games so far, it was one or two guys that really stepped up and made a difference. Well, guess what, folks? This past game, all four of them caught a touchdown in today in Louisville's game. So, I mean, it just goes to show you the diversity and the type of guys that are capable of really setting a tone and being a difference maker in this game. And these are going to be the little things that we're going to need throughout the football season as we go on, because this is a long way to go. We're trying to win. We're trying to play 17, 18 games this year. We want to get to the national championship. And in order to do that, you got to be deep. And you got to be able to use guys in the right instances and timing. And going back to my point about the running back room, what we could touch on, in weeks past, Damian Martinez was our starter, right? And then Mark Fletcher was that second guy. And then you had Jay Allen and Jordan Lyle kind of do that third rotation. And by the time you got back to the first guy, which was Damian Martinez, you were either in two predicaments. Either you were already blowing a team out early in the season. We saw the first 3-4 weeks, right? Where at that point, you were already up 14 plus points before half. You didn't really in Damian Martinez or Mark Fletcher, knowing that you got a long season ahead of you, right? Or on the flip end, last 3 games, we were playing from behind a lot. So in those predicaments, when it's time for Martinez or Fletcher to get back in, you're playing from behind and you're having to throw the football a lot, right? And I think what they noticed in this football game is that it was probably going to be a high-scoring game. But all in all, as good as Cam Ward is, if you want to destroy a Louisville defense that already has a lot of gaps and holes, you don't want to just utilize the weakness of the passing defense. You also want to be able to utilize the weakness of the rushing defense to create a balance. And I think with the balance you saw going and giving respect to Coach Merritt and this staff, we saw a change in the rotation. Now you got Fletcher starting with Martinez coming at the end of a football game, where I think really helped our football team, and Damian Martinez as well, personally. They
were beat up at that time. Our offensive line did the damage, and I didn't even think about that, Brad. And that was where Martinez was really good last year, is he wore down him. But if he's going to start off, that was to find that. That's great what coaching does. Good coaching, great coaching makes those adjustments. And let's see if they can continue with these adjustments. Because we've won every second half pretty much. This game, it was close, but we got them again, and we just got to win the second halves. I mean, obviously we have to win the whole game, but you win the second half, you got a really good shot of winning. And I thought that was key, going at that new dimension of the running game. That was awesome. Brad, you want to read some of the comments? And are we going to do the comment deal this time as well, or since we don't have a producer or not?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Let's start off the bat. We got our boy Dolphin Derek in the building as well, always showing us love. One of the best Hurricane fans out there on the planet. Shout out to Dolphin Derek. We also got Manalo. Hola, mi gente. Good evening,
Manalo. What's up, Dolphin Derek?
We got Jason Sanchez in the building, Colorado Cane, for y'all to know him on social media. One of the biggest Hurricane fans out there as well. Quality Cane. I never felt we were in trouble like weeks past. Felt like we were in control, even though it was close. I agree with you. A lot of that has to do with Cam Ward at the helm at quarterback. And, we're giving praises to the playmakers, whether it's our wide receivers or running back or Cam Ward, obviously. But we talk about some of these guys that have had a complete game this past weekend. The offensive line as a whole. I mean, you want to talk about the adjustments in some of the rotations. Guys, you got to remember, we had Jalen Rivers back this game, and we still found a way to have Markel Bell and Jalen Rivers on the field at the same time, and we didn't skip a beat. Not only did we not skip a beat, but our team, if we wanted to run the ball, we could run the ball. If we wanted to pass the ball and give Cam Ward enough time, we were able to do that. So kudos to the offensive line as well for doing their job, because that offensive line group, along with special teams like the kickers and punters, they don't get enough love each and every week. And I think this was a good performance all in all for the O-line, because I know they've been getting some trash talk from some of our fans as well. So you got to show them love and give them the flowers when they deserve it, right?
Absolutely. You're talking about, we hit a 55-yard field goal. Beautiful. Punting was good. Obviously, there was the good, the bad, the ugly in this game. The bad, obviously, or the ugly, I should say, is the kickoff return. I'm still not sure. They asked Mario, why are we kicking the ball out of the end zone? He said, you got to go ahead and cover these guys anyway. But if we kick it out of the end zone, can a kicker kick it out of the end zone every time? That's the question. Can he? Cliff, what do you think?
I mean, I think Andy could pretty much kick the ball out of the end zone every time if he wants to. So
why aren't we?
I have no idea. I'd rather have him. You don't want to give him any chance to run the ball back. Period. I don't care what team you're playing. Anybody. I mean, anyone could get lucky and do it. It's not like it happened.
Momentum changes on anybody but us, but that's another story. So I don't remember the last time we had one. But
I think
you're right.
I think the frustrating thing as Cane fans and watching this game, and obviously we're glad we got the W. But going into this game, right, you didn't have to be a Louisville fan to know who the playmakers on this team was, right? The quarterback in Tyler Shook, your running back Isaac Brown, and then you had your two dynamic receivers and Ja'Cory Brooks and Colin Lacey on the offensive side of the ball. Those were the guys that you needed to stop going into this game that you knew were going to make plays if they were going to compete in this game. Well, guess what? You look at the stat board and you watch the game. God almighty, if it ain't all those guys I just named that were difference makers for Louisville in that football game. So it's a little frustrating that you had a bye week. You had an extra week to prepare. We heard Lance Guidry in the press conference before this matchup that he thought he had a good plan for this game. And I'll be honest with you, when you go back and watch this game, for all the Lance Guidry haters out there, this was not Lance Guidry's fault. I personally feel just like the last couple games, I feel like from a scheme and game plan standpoint and adjustments throughout a football game, he has been doing his job. This staff has been doing their job. I think a lot of it needs to get on these players, right? We are now in week 8 of college football. And I'm gonna be real with some of you fans. Some of you fans that are calling for some of these true freshmen that still haven't gotten in the game, and you want them to be heroes and be the hero of the season and take out guys like De'Ani Hill and Jaden Harris as well. I agree with you, but guess what? If these freshmen and these other sophomores that you're wanting to get in these other guys' place, if they're not getting the opportunity by week 8, I don't think the staff trusts them at this point, because you got to remember, we're on path to go undefeated. And shout out to Mando in the building with us as well. But we're on path to have a remarkable season this year, and we don't need anything messing this up. And I do believe that a lot of these guys on the defensive side of the ball have got to step it up and play better, fundamentally sound football, because I don't think it's a talent. I don't think it's a talent issue. It's more of understanding your assignment. It's understanding your assignment and just doing the small fundamental things that you get taught all the way from Pop Warner. But that's another argument to talk about. I'm not going to nitpick too much because we're undefeated. But Mando, good for you to join the show. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Good evening. Look at Brad drinking already. I love it. How you doing, guys?
I'm the only one not drinking here. I'm gonna drink.
You're drinking before and after the show.
There you go.
Yeah. Not during the week. That's only on Fridays and Saturdays.
Chris, don't worry. Your wife's not watching. Don't worry. Jason from Chicago, no longer Colorado. Cliff loves your hair today. You are definitely. You should be on
Dolphin Derek. I can't wait to see you, buddy.
You should be on the magazine.
Bro, Dolphin Derek is one of the funniest guys. He's crazy.
We can't wait. He's got Dolphin Derek's hair.
Dolphin Derek. Oh!
What color is his hair today?
He hasn't had hair since the 92 Olympics.
I feel left out.
What's up,
there you go. High noon. Okay, we don't want to get you in trouble there, Cliff.
We got little Princess in the building.
Yeah, very good. Say hi, Ava.
Little Mondo. Little Mondo's in the house.
Say hi. Do the you.
There
you go. She's throwing up the U.
Actually, she's being an Olympic competition. Job, and he throws up the U. We're going to give you like an 8.6. Not perfect.
Perfect. Her
fingers a little curved. And we know we don't do this, right? That's kick the ball, Mondo. Kick the paper football.
There you go. No, I'm sure you guys recapped it, but once again,
the floor is yours.
This young man at quarterback, I mean, the team was outstanding, obviously, but I'm never at a loss for words, but this young man at quarterback is just, I'm sure Brad's doing a great job on the Daily Show. I watch all the time. And with this guy, I'm not talking about national championships. I saw the title years. You can make a case right now, and I don't know how you could argue against it. Nobody's playing this position right now through 7 games like how he has. Individually, I'm not talking about team accomplishments, nothing like that, because obviously they've won titles, but he's playing at a superhuman level. It's crazy. It's literally crazy how good that man's playing quarterback.
He makes me nervous, but that dude always Oh,
No, it
man.
doesn't make,
True.
it reminds
That's
me of
one thing he doesn't do for me. He
doesn't
doesn't make me nervous.
at all.
Well,
That's
at
the one
first, I
place I'm
wasn't
not
too familiar.
nervous with.
I wasn't familiar with him at first, the first couple of games, but now when he sits back and then he moves up in the pot, it's like he's just so calm. I think he's a calming influence on the whole team. They get down,
Everybody else.
they get down by 10. Let me tell you, when it became 31-31, I'm sure a lot of Canes fans were like, "Uh-oh." Yeah. And
Exactly.
he just marches right down the field like it was a 14-0 game in the first quarter, like it was nothing.
We talked a little bit about
Breathe.
that situation, and we'll kind of go in details with it now. But now that you bring it up, right? We talked
Right.
about some of these situations in the past couple of weeks, whether it's Virginia Tech, Cal, and Louisville. There were small glimpses and moments in the opportunity where it was there was that one possession where we all as Cane fans watched these games and we're like, this could be the moment where we take a big lead, right? Similar to South Florida and how we've been all year. But all 3 weeks, there have been that one or two drives that really just changed everything to where now you're on the opposite end looking in the mirror like, oh, now it's our turn. Now we got the ball in our court. We got to figure out if we can answer and score, right? And to Mando's point, into the first half, we were up 24-17. We get the ball to start the second half. We score a touchdown to Xavier Strepa, and we are now up 31-17. 1 minute and 7 seconds later, kickoff return touchdown. The fumble by Mark Fletcher sets up another touchdown for Louisville, and it's now 31-31 after 2 or 3 minutes after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
I was like,
how does a team
Exactly.
how does the team and a guy like Cam Ward at that moment, you got to understand at this point in the football game, you're going to have to respond and answer almost every drive and possession because you don't ever know what's going to expect from the defense and what this Louisville's offense is capable of. And they're humming on all cylinders at this point, and they got momentum on their side. Well, I'll be darned, man. If we literally answer drives with ease. Like I know it hurts the defense to get on the field after 3 or 4 minutes, but now it's the flip side. In years past, our defense weren't catching breaks when we had the top 5, top 10 defenses in the country. Our defense weren't catching breaks at those times, even as good as they were, because our offense stunk so bad. And after 3 or 4 minutes, it was a 3-and-out drive, and now our defense is back on the field. And once it gets to the third or fourth quarter, our guys are gassed out. It doesn't matter how good they get. Well, guess what? Now our defense still only has 3 or 4 minutes till they're on the field, but now they're recovering off of a 7-point touchdown from our offense each and every drive, which really helps a secondary that gives up a lot of points right now.
Yeah.
And Brad, you made a good point earlier. That in these games, we really haven't had an opportunity to just play smash mouth football and just run the ball a couple times like we at the end of the game with Martinez or Fletcher or Allen. This game, we really did that. We saw 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 run gains every time, dude.
And I know one of the 4 guys I see on the screen here has been mentioning the running back position, Brett. But
once or twice, Mando. I'm glad you're paying attention. You get some bonus points.
He gets the gift card.
Yeah, Mando wins.
I may get bonus points. I ain't getting bonus money.
That's our next contract.
There you
Brad
go.
said, "Pay me. Nobody else gets any money. We'll all be happy." I said, "Okay."
It's been mentioned. It's been mentioned several times. That run, he the cliche. He wanted it more. Yeah, he wanted it more. That run was serious. That was
Marshawn Lynch, bro.
crazy.
Marshawn Lynch.
The run before, didn't he have a run earlier that also was running over everybody?
Yep.
That run was probably even more that he was powering everybody, but he didn't score the touchdown. I thought that run that they had the whole entire team on him. It was like, it's usually when we're on defense and the other team's on offense, the whole team is surrounding him and he's like moving the pile. It's like an ant moving a big bunch of bread. I mean, he was unbelievable. And we discussed it. Brad brought up a good point. Starting Fletcher, then Martinez coming in, then Martinez coming against late. They were worn out, the Louisville team, and Martinez is a bull. Not that Fletcher is not.
They didn't want to
utilize our running backs the way we should. So we passed, man.
And I know he comes in fresh later on, and that's got a big deal. But I think I mentioned it during the game. AJ Allen pops off the screen.
He does.
Oh,
AJ Allen could probably start for a lot of Division I teams, 10, 15, 18 touches a game. Because AJ Allen can ball, bro.
Bro, that dude's a
AJ
beast.
Allen can play.
And we got to realize this. I mean, as Cane fans, we're in a good spot right now because in years past, we remember before the season started, we looked at our running back room and we were saying how deep we were, 3, 4, 5. And by week 5, week 6, sure enough, that number 1 and number 2 guy are out for the year or banged up, and now you're relying on 3, 4, and 5. Guys, if we want to play week 16, week 17, week 18 football and get to the promised land, you got to make sure that your number 3 and your number 4 guys in each position group are getting steady burn now, because those are going to be the guys that help you in the long run. You know, there's a reason why Markel Bell still gets starting reps, even with Jalen Rivers coming back, right? There's a reason why you see young guys like Cole McConaughey get reps each and every week. I mean, you got to have these young guys and the older guys be able to get continuous reps, because you're going to need everyone to buy in by the time the end of the year comes.
Great point, Brad.
They mentioned it yesterday on the
injuries. We think we're so deep. You got Chaney, you've got other guys. I mean, it's like, and then we're all of a sudden we have nobody. So it's a catch-22. People like, including myself, why are we rotating so many backs? But at the same time, let's keep them fresh. Let's keep them all going.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a win-win-win. It all is all it's about. Malero, exactly. Cam is special. Brad, what jersey are you wearing today?
There it is.
In the back.
Cam Ward jersey.
All
Nothing
right,
better than it.
jersey. Absolutely.
Only at CanesWear.com. They got it in every color, every size. You want it for your dog, you want it for your toddler, you want it for your girlfriend or wife, they got it. Just go ahead and go to CanesWear.com. Every color, every size. And if you don't even like football and you want to rep it at a baseball game or a basketball game, they got the Cam Ward number 1 in baseball and basketball jerseys as well. So you got to make sure you stop at CanesWear. And hey, who knows, if the Florida Panthers continue to heat up and maybe our guy Cam Ward gets the Heisman Trophy, I think it would be a nice Florida Panthers jersey with the Ward on the back.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not saying anything, but I think that'd be nice in the future.
Cam Ward everywhere, 24/7, 365. This is very exciting. I see what they're doing. I had a big meeting with Adidas about next year's items, and this year's are fantastic. We just got so many great items. Next year, there's some amazing items that are going to blow your mind. This year, we got so many cool items, some new shirts and everything like that. But, you know, I see what they have, a whole Patrick Mahomes line, okay? Texas Tech jerseys. If Cam, let's just hope he continues, because, you know, it's not just people say he's only here for 1 year. One thing I hear is he's only here for 1 year. It's 1 year. Let's enjoy it. Let's sell out every game. I saw Taylor Swift, people are paying $2,000 a seat to go into a game with Cam Ward for $50. I mean, that's as far as but the point is, it's just like, go see Cam Ward. We may never see another quarterback like this.
You might not. You might not.
Special.
People
The Cam Ward World Tour is special. So come out and see Cam. Let's sell out every single game, not just Florida State. Let's sell out Duke. Let's sell out Wake Forest. Let's sell out the ACC championship game with Canes fans, because we know Canes fans can travel. They don't always go to the OB or Hard Rock, but we know they're going to travel well. So the Cam Ward Show, don't miss it. And, you know, we're all lucky to be part of this. If it's 1 year, stop saying, oh, no, it's only 1 year. Enjoy it. I'd rather have 1 year of greatness than 4 mediocre years that are terrible.
Listen, people got to remember, especially you Dolphins fans that are watching the show, one of the best players on the defense side of the ball for the Miami Dolphins that came from the U. You know how many years he played at the U? 1 year, Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, good point, Brad.
You still praise him till this day, whether he's in a Hurricane uniform or Dolphin uniform. You guys got to understand, and most of y'all do who are Hurricane fans, once you wear the orange and green one time, you are family from that point moving forward. So whether you're here for a year, 6 months, he's going to be in the NFL. He's going to be playing on Sundays. You see guys like Patrick Mahomes and even my guy Micah Parsons for the Dallas Cowboys wearing Cam Ward jerseys on his podcast. Look, people know who this guy is. Everyone in the country knows who this guy is. I mean, it's you don't have this opportunity every day as Hurricane fans. And this day and age of college football, to not only have the it at quarterback, the number 1 position you need on the football field, but guys, our offense is humming, and we still haven't even hit our peak yet. That's the scariest thing about all of this. Yep. Not only has our offense not hit the peak, but our defense is subpar at best right now.
Yeah.
And if you look at the remaining schedule that we have right now, we're not going to face an offense anywhere close to a Cal, to a Louisville, to a Virginia Tech, even to a Florida, as far as, you know, potentially trenches and playmakers. All these other offenses, you got a Florida State team that's 1-6, who we'll talk about here shortly, that you could pretty much put on a blindfold and throw better than any of the quarterbacks currently on their roster. And then you got a Duke team that just beat Florida State for the first time ever in Duke football history. and they beat them with a quarterback that only threw for 79 yards in a football game. So
Wow.
I'm not worried too much about the next few opponents as far as the defense's standpoint or offense. This is just the next 2-3 weeks. This is where our defense needs to get back to where it needs to be. We could be humming on all cylinders, getting our way to Charlotte, and then that is where we need to start balling on every possession, every drive, whether it's special teams, offense, and defense. Still got a lot of improvement, and there's a lot left to show with the 7-0 Miami Hurricanes team.
And that's the reason why, all those reasons right there, why I'm coming down Thursday through Sunday, coming back up here for 3 days and going back down for another 4 days, back to back. People at my job think I'm crazy. Like, are you
When are
kidding
you
me?
coming, Cliff?
Be there Thursday.
You're coming Thursday. All right. We need
Thursday
some
to
help at
Sunday.
CanesWear. We need somebody to work the door, to
I
greet the people.
cannot- Hey, I told you, I am not buying one.
You don't have to buy, Cliff. As long as you're working. We're expecting
new
a full
Cliff.
crowd.
I
a lot
haven't
of
bought
excitement.
one thing this year, and
I know, and I'm very proud of you. And if the Hurricanes go undefeated and you don't buy anything, I got a $100 gift certificate for you, Cliff. You're the man. The reason undefeated. All right, and I don't even need to. I just want undefeated in an ACC championship. So
How
Listen,
about
guys,
Sam Brown?
hey, can you get this type of customer service as diehard Hurricane fans anywhere else in America? You just got the owner of CanesWear telling one of the biggest Hurricane fans, if you don't buy anything, I'm going to give you a $100 gift card to buy stuff. Like, come on, guys. I mean,
It's been a
there's
good
no better
season.
place
because
to
he
start.
knows I'm going to
That's a
buy
good season.
$500 worth of stuff.
Cliff used to be in the store every Friday when they lived locally. I mean, I'm not going to say it, but that's why he was moved out of town. He was at CanesWear too
My
much.
wife was like,
He was at CanesWear too much. His wife said, "We're going out of town. Get on the U-Haul now." He didn't even know they were moving.
Yeah, most people go for drinks and happy hour. Cliff was there buying like size.
He was just hanging out, enjoying the atmosphere. So it's
every Friday. I would go there every Friday, no joke, for a couple of years.
he said it was, honey, I'm at CanesWear. She said, I'm helping out working. And she said,
Yeah, he goes, well, you could be working your real job and seeing me.
Yeah, you guys
fellas.
mentioned Martinez. How about Mr. Sam Brown at receiver?
Sam Brown. Awesome.
Man,
Sam
Sam Brown had a day, man. I think he only had 3 or 4 catches, but I mean,
Yeah,
they were all big plays, over 100 yards. And anytime he got the ball, again, talked about this earlier in the season. When Sam Brown is special and electric, he already needs to be on the move before he gets the ball in his hands. And you saw with most of the plays that he's been having big plays, he's already on full speed or on the go before he's getting the ball. And that's what you like to see with our playmakers. The similar way how he's Jacoby George last year, that's what's really going to benefit Sam Brown the most. And I know we talked a lot about this Louisville past weekend matchup. And as y'all know, we got a big time matchup this weekend at the Hard Rock. Hashtag Pack the Rock. As y'all know, Brett brought up a good point. We've been selling out every away game. It's time to sell out a home game, especially
There's
rivalry.
no excuses. There's no excuses.
No excuses at all. And I'm going to tell you one thing. There's no excuse. Perfect segue. There's no excuse for you to stop the CanesWear this weekend, Thursday through Sunday, don't matter what day it is, and get the newest shirt, hot off the press, FSU, not FSU, FSU shirt by Donation in orange. As y'all know, they want the Cane fans to wear orange this weekend in the stadium. Who knows what the players are going to wear? That's still a toss-up, but they want the fans to wear orange, and why not have the FSU shirt right hot off the press, only at CanesWear.com.
Yep.
Perfect shirt. Even if you're going to wear something else, perfect shirt for tailgating. The funniest thing, we came out with that shirt, FSU, a few years back. I mean, FSU was a little better than us. Now, I mean, little do we know that, they really are FSU this year. And not that there's anything wrong with it, because we got to keep them in the poo factor. But that is a cool shirt, Brad. Good point. We just got them in today. They just
Nice
went
shirt.
online. Jeff just put on the line. I know Dolphin Derek said, save me a couple. Other people. We've only got 150 of them. It's a 50-50 cotton poly, very comfortable, and a great shirt, collector's item. We'll see if we can get some more. Hopefully we sell out very quickly. It's an awesome shirt. We got tons of orange, but that is a special shirt. And is there a better year for it than this year?
That's
I don't think so.
how Brett gets you. He has every damn color. I have a green.
Exactly.
I have a green one. What do you do?
And Brett, you brought up a good point, right? 2 years ago, FSU wasn't so poo. It was Miami that was poo. And
Correct.
they came into our stadium, in our home, and they not only won the football game, they dismantled us 45-3 at home.
Thank
I
you.
was in that stadium, and it was a complete embarrassment. And I want to bring up a specific quote. I brought this up a few times already, right? There's a specific quote by our head coach, Mario Cristobal, after we lost 45-3, right? On potentially running up that score against our Miami Hurricanes at the Hard Rock. You know what our guy Mario Cristobal said? He said, end quote, I don't care about that stuff. It's their job to score. It's our job to stop them. One day we'll switch shoes. Well, guess what, folks? That day is only a few days away, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the spread is only 21. We're gonna have our own segment in the next few weeks, me and Mando and some of us, and have our own parlays and bets on this show.
No,
that 21 spread. Go ahead and smash that button like you do on this like and subscribe button, because we're going over that 21. I don't care. It's a rivalry game. I don't care if you got to throw everything out the window. I'm gonna tell you what you need to throw out the window. All those players in that garnet and gold are trash. Throw them out the window, because this team will not be able to compete with this Miami Hurricane team. When you got a guy like CanesWear at quarterback, when you got the weapons we have on the offense side of the football, and when you have a defense that has been itching and scratching for a good game lately, this is the perfect opponent, homecoming at home, to switch the shoes and dominate against your rival and the Florida State Seminoles, because not only is it a big rivalry
chills
game,
with him talking right now.
not only is this a big rivalry game,
Running through the
this
wall.
is a big game. This is a big game for recruiting. There's going to be 120 plus recruits in this stadium watching Miami dismantle this Florida State Seminoles. And I promise you, this is just the beginning of what we're trying to do for not only this rivalry, but the Florida rivalry next season.
I only have 2 buddies that are Florida State fans because I hate Florida State and Florida so much. I don't have any Florida
Those
fans.
balloons.
We're having a party already. What the hell's
Man,
going on?
I think Brad was on a roll. I don't know if you guys ever used to listen to Jim Rome on the radio, when he would have a great caller go off and off and off and go ahead and rack them.
Rack them.
Damn.
Hey,
Brad was,
I text
I got chills here, dog.
I text both of my buddies, the Florida State fans, and one goes, "Hell no, I ain't going to that game. FSU's trash." The other one goes,
Bro, one of my
"Nah."
dear friends is a huge FSU fan. He lives here. He's not going. He's like,
That's what I was thinking. Now, listen, I thought about it. You know, a lot of people ask me, they come into the store and they say, is it good that FSU, wouldn't it be better if FSU is really good? And I'm thinking like more Canes fans will be there now, because a lot of times, you know, there's going to be 20,000, 15,000 Florida State fans, but there will still be some, but there won't be that many.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
And this is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. The Canes have to come out. They can't be like us. They got to come out focused and just say, we're going to win it. And I like Mario's comment. I love that comment. 3 years ago, we destroyed them. Manny's last year, right? 2 years ago, they destroyed us. Last year was a close game. We almost pulled it out. This year, we're back for revenge. And I'm not going to say because Steph has shoes, but you remember the shoe gate. This is, the shoe has turned, and we need to take advantage of this game. We need to get better every single game. Yeah. Mario, and I know for sure, not that Cam told me personally, Cam isn't in this just to win 9 or 10 games.
No.
He sees the big thing. I heard some people on Twitter, he's not even going to play in a bowl game because he's going to be a high pick, even if it's a playoff game. I'm sorry. This guy wants to win. Xavier wants to win. They all want to win. And listen, I don't know if we will. Right now, this season has been special. But as fans, we have to enjoy the moment. Yep. I mean, let's not worry about.
You got 2 months left.
Game. Are we going to go ahead and be champion? Enjoy the moment. Last time I checked, what's our record?
7-0.
What's our record?
7-0.
All right, baby. 7-0. Going for 8-0. We just got to keep the pressure, keep winning. Like Mando says, run through a wall. Listen, this is Canes football. We haven't had this much excitement. Even in 2017, turnover chain, we were getting, now granted, these came down on the wire, but that Florida State game, I mean, that catch, in the end zone, the last second, the Georgia Tech game on the 4th and long, I mean, we were getting break after break. That team, I do not believe, is as good as this team.
You mentioned 2017, and I was fortunate enough to be there for both games, VT and Notre Dame back-to-back weeks. Yeah. I was actually talking about it with a buddy of mine at work yesterday. Granted, FSU record-wise is not what those teams are, but that stadium this Saturday night, like Brad alluded to, homecoming, and we're 7-0 prime time. Who knows what uniforms they're gonna wear, etc. This Saturday has to be like one of those moments, like the whole game I'm talking about. Like, and looking back at the Cal game and VT, they're not gonna look past FSU. Yeah, they're like Brad alluded to, they're 3 touchdown favorites, but they're battle tested now. They've almost lost a couple times. So they're not going to waltz in there expecting, hey, we're going to win. FSU's got plenty of South Florida kids. They're going to play like their quarterback. I saw him play in the ACC championship last year. Their offense is bad. It's really bad. Like, not being like Homer guy and it's the rival. That's a bad offense over there, like really bad.
I usually bring up the stats, right? I'm gonna tell you how bad this Florida State offense is.
Bad.
They scored 21 points in their home opener loss in Ireland, right? Ever since that loss, they haven't scored more than 16 points any game all season.
No, there's no excuse.
We got to hope our defense doesn't decide to make them special this game.
I will say I saw a stat a couple hours ago that I didn't even realize, but you get caught up watching the game. Ruben Bain got credited for 10 pressures.
10 pressures.
10.
Really? I did not see that.
Yeah, I think he led the country in pressures last week.
He did.
Because everybody focuses on sacks, but he had 10 pressures.
I didn't know.
You brought up a good point with some of the things that get overlooked, right? With someone like Simeon Barrow, who's been having a monster season so far, might honestly be the best defensive player on the team so far through 7 weeks. And that gets overlooked, or the Ruben Bain stat that you just mentioned gets overlooked by guys like Simeon Barrow, who are just dismantling the offensive line. But I want to talk about a stat on offense that gets overlooked, and I brought this up a couple times. As great as Cam Ward is, and as great as and exciting this offense has looked, our third down conversions on the offensive side of the football has been one of the Achilles heel of this football program the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And this is a huge stat.
Good point.
As a championship contender team, they are number one in the country at 60% third down conversion. Not only were they 60%, going into the Louisville game, but knowing that you were going to get battle tested and this was going to be a high scoring game, so there was going to be a lot of opportunities that you were in third down. Guess what? We ended up at 60% third down conversions against Louisville. You know what Louisville's third down conversion was? Louisville's third down conversion was 3 of 12.
25% if you're scoring at home. I don't think we had 60% combined in the last 3 years combined. I mean, it's like 60% unbelievable. And, so let me just ask you this, guys, okay? If Cam Ward was not our quarterback, okay, I don't want to take anything away from the team. Just for a moment, what would our record be?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay. So let's appreciate this year that Cam Ward is here and appreciate it for what it is. And, I said to Cam's dad when he said Cam decided to transfer, I said, the first guy I thought of is Joe Burrow. Okay. He was with LSU. When he played us, he did not look good at all. I mean, I thought this guy's a 5th round draft pick. I don't even know if he'd be drafted. By the end of the season, he's probably a 3rd or 4th round. And which is Cam probably would have been 2nd, 3rd, or 4th rounder. But I said, you come back, you never know. You could be the number 1 pick like Joe Burrow. And right now, Cam stays healthy. He could be the number 1 pick.
Unreal.
And I want to bring up something I just thought about.
Good point,
right?
Brett.
Something that I noticed with Mario Cristobal on the staff when they talk about recruiting and some of the guys that some of the young men that I interview that get recruited by the staff, right? A lot of it goes back to trust, honesty, and believing in what they bring to the table on and off the football field, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we're hyping and we're talking and we're praising about how great Cam Ward is, right? But I'm going to be honest with you. I was one of the few on Twitter that prior to him even leaving Washington State, I tweeted out there back in November that this young man at Washington State would look good in an orange and green uniform. This is before
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Before the draft boards, right? And I'm going to tell you something. Finally getting to talk to his parents as well, like Brett, and understand who he is and getting familiar and relationships with people that know Cam Ward personally. Everything we're seeing with Cam Ward in orange and green uniform on the football field and what you hear about what he brings from a demeanor, leadership standpoint off the football field, none of that stuff changed from Incarnate Ward. None of that stuff changed from Washington State. The only thing that changed was the competition and the logo on his helmet. But you know what changed his decision to alter from the NFL to Miami is because Miami, Mario Cristobal, was one of the few programs that believed from beginning to end that this was the guy to change the program that's been in a rut for 20 plus years. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Why didn't Texas? Why didn't Ohio State? Why didn't Alabama? Why didn't these schools put their name in the hat right away for Cam Ward?
Excellent
point. You know why? Because they didn't believe like we believe. They didn't they didn't feel like they were being held by the collar from the beginning to the end process. And guess what? Miami stuck through the process from beginning to end, and sure enough, it's paying out.
Correct. It was us against the NFL. It wasn't us against another college. It was us against the NFL, which is the Canes are the NFL, pro Canes. So that's an awesome point. Why didn't Ohio State? Why didn't nobody was trying to bring them in? Granted, we paid them a lot, but these teams have a ton of budget as well. The Alabamas, the Ohio States, all those teams, and he's better than every other quarterback.
We're getting our best bang for our buck. I promise you that. You go look at the top 10 people that lead in NIL profits in their programs. Cam Ward's probably not on that list, and if he is, he's probably 9 or 10.
Yeah,
so best bang for your buck. You're getting what you're paying for and some.
100%.
Even a team like Georgia. I saw even that little Heisman thing that we're all voting on, whatever. Carson Beck is not even sniffing that Heisman Trophy thing. He's not,
the only thing Carson Beck is sniffing is the Havender twin.
Yeah. I mean, a pretty good consolation prize.
If Cam had another year of eligibility and let's say he were to leave here or leave wherever playing like this to go somewhere else, how much would he command next season somewhere if he were to transfer like anywhere in America? Like, I couldn't imagine playing like this. It's like
correct.
Crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So it's I'm glad he's here for 1 year. It's one special year, like you said with Jalen Phillips and others. 1 year is all you need to make it special. You can either make a career. A guy like Braxton Berrios, who really his career was not that great. He was going to transfer, but then he stayed at Miami. He had that magical year in 2017. Mm-hmm. It only takes 1 year if you play here. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Yep. 8 years, like some people in the league, but 1 year. So I don't care if you have them for 1 year or you have them. It's better. It's better to have that experience. We get one full season. So hopefully we'll be able to continue this excitement in this game on Saturday, 7 p.m. Sellout crowd. Tickets are very difficult to get. It's going to be exciting as can be. We just got to. I know Cam is not taking this for granted.
No, and it's good to be hated again. I will say this: the rivals, they keep talking about the referees. Oh, Miami. People are calling Miami a fraudulent top 5. It's better than being irrelevant. Just keep on bringing the hate. So that means we're good again because we're getting hated.
Great point, Mando.
Hated, like nobody hates the. I guess they're decent now, but the Brewers, not in baseball. Like nobody hates irrelevant people.
People still hated us before, but it was for different reasons. They hated us for our past. Now it's like we're the golden child. We get, no matter what happens against us, like the running out of bounds, like Cliff mentioned before, the guy stepped out of bounds, ran another 150 yards and scored a touchdown. Whatever it is, they getting calls. We're not. Teams aren't getting holding calls. It's like, but they only look at one play. They micromanage it. So
all I know is that they're now back in the national discussion going forward. At the very least,
they should have never been left out so far this season, right? And I think a lot of it just has to do to what Mando said when he first got on, right? It's just the hatred towards the Miami Hurricanes program, right? People just don't want to see us at top, and unfortunately, they're going to have to get used to it because this is a program that hasn't even gotten to the top of what we're capable of, and they better be afraid of what we got coming. Because as long as we start hitting on all cylinders, folks, this is going to be a scary team come December and hopefully January. I got to sit down and talk to a Florida State big-time booster and a huge fan of the Florida State Seminoles on the CanesWear Daily podcast, which we'll be bringing out here later on this week, breaking down this Florida State and Miami matchup. And my guy Pete the Greek on social media, you guys could follow him. He brought up a really good point about this Florida State team. In years past, when you talk about this rivalry game, right, and we all mention, and media does as well, that records go out the window, and this is kind of, everything's off the table. But most of the key things that are the reasons why you say records off the table and, this is anybody's games are two things. One, that there are key playmakers that are very obvious for Florida State that you have to hone in and key on, whether it's on offense or defense. This season, they don't have that. The second thing, and this is the more important thing that really gets overlooked, in rivalry games, whether it's Florida, Miami, Florida State, Miami, some of the key things that you need your veterans and leadership in these moments in games is what's going to help you with the offset penalties, the bonehead, things after the play is over, or just being lined up or getting the rest of your team lined up, having command of the offense or defense, communication. These are all things where you have to have a veteran presence or leaderships in the building that can distinguish the rest and kind of draw that entree to the rest of the team. Those are two things that are really lacking at this Florida State program. Ever since Jordan Travis left, they are looking for a leader. They are looking for guys and veterans that can help try to pick this season up right where it leads off. Because right now, the coach's speech and the coach's talk of Mike Norvell, these guys aren't buying into that because they're already 1-6 and they know where their season's heading.
Well, you got to remember too, like you said, that's a great Brad. But also remember, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us this week because they have nothing else to play for. If they can win this game, they want to care about the record. They're going to be doing onside kicks, fake punts, fake field goals.
Exactly.
Every single, and that's what a team does that knows that they really can't beat you. That's why sometimes I saw in these other games, they're doing fake field goals, they're doing fake, punts and stuff like that. That's what tells me right there. They know, like, shit, if we don't get to this amount of points, we have no chances in this game.
I just don't see the talent on that team, man. Unfortunately, you talk about kitchen. Look, there's a difference between ordering a kitchen sink at Lowe's and getting it delivered and installed at your house than getting one off of Craigslist at your local website, right? Exactly what Florida State's offense and defense looks like. It's Craigslist. You're not shopping at Lowe's. You're not shopping at Sears. You're going off of Craigslist, OfferUp, Macari, you name it. This is the Etsy of Florida programs right now. This is the Florida State deficit team.
Anybody watching that has anything posted on Craigslist or OfferUp, his name is Brad Tejeda. You can just talk to that guy right there.
Exactly. Right, so right now this year we've played 3 Florida teams already. We beat the Gators, 41-17, is that correct? Or something like that.
Yeah.
We beat FAMU. What was that score? 50 by about 40 points, right?
52-10 or something.
We beat South Florida by 50-15 or something like that, right? So now we've got Florida State. So rarely do we play 4 Florida teams in the same year, and rarely do we beat 4. So if we win this game, do you consider the state champs at least the start of some kind of championship? How do you feel about the state champs title?
It's so funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that, I swear, over the weekend. And I'm just waiting for some idiot UCF fan to be like, you haven't played us yet.
What are they, 1-17?
They got curb stomped by Florida.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So what should we look for in FSU? So we know the Canes are favored by 21.5. I remember 47-0 games. I remember games that teams have dominated. And then there's teams that aren't as good. Like we were not as good as the national championship Florida State. We played them to the wire. What should we be worried about, Brad, this game that could exploit our team?
I think I should have been the last person to answer this question because I'm probably not going to give you a serious one because I just don't take this team serious. I really don't. I've been watching some of their games. There's no guys that scare me on this team. I know our defense has been playing bad, but again, to my point earlier, we have gone up against way better talent and offensive weapons and quarterbacks that are going to push the envelope of this defense. And I just don't see that happening with this Florida State team, man. I just really don't. I think if you want to look for something on Florida State, you need to look for the guys that have heart and maybe when you look in their eyes before the game starts, don't look like Bubba Baxa.
So we have to take them out early. We can't let them sit around first quarter, 7-3, 7-7.
Right.
That's when these teams feel like they have a chance. So to put a team like this away, we really need to be up 21 early. You don't want them to even think and they give up. But the fact that a lot of these players like Xavier Strepo and others just got destroyed 2 years ago, okay, they want, obviously, every Cane player is judged by what was your record against FSU when you were there. Mm-hmm. And they love to go ahead and, say, I was 0-4 versus FSU. I was 3-0. I mean, Manny had a great record against FSU, I think, right? After we lost like 7 in a row, Rick won a couple and then Manny won. So, but how they played against FSU will always follow them, especially we're going to meet these guys. They'll meet them at quarterback. They'll meet them at Flanagan's. They'll meet them somewhere, and they'll say, what was your record against me? So this is a huge game. So you guys don't feel there's going to be any let up at all. You feel like we're going to go ahead, take care of business, and it's just gonna be a fun night for
No,
our King fans.
You can't predict, like against BT, they had a mobile quarterback. First series of the game, we strip sack, we fumble. You can't predict that. Then Cam throws a pick in the red zone. Those are things that are going to happen. But VT had some talent offensively. They moved the ball very well. Like Brad's point, and he alluded to it. I'm not saying I've seen full FSU games. There's not a star wideout running back that scares me there. There's not a star offensive. The quarterbacks certainly don't scare me. They're remedial. They're not good. So to me, it would be brutally disappointing if they give up 20 plus. And I know we've been giving up a lot. That's how bad that offense is. That's a bad offensive football team over there. So
let's hope that's the case. That's what we got. We have two games with kind of not rematches, but we got Florida State and then we got Manny Diaz and Duke. So hopefully back-to-back home games. Brad, any other things on the comment board you want to address?
No, I think we're pretty much capped up on the we're caught up on the comment board. I think I got a winner for the gift card later on that we'll present later on at the end of the show in the next few minutes. Let's get some thoughts from Cliff, and then we'll get our score predictions and get out of here.
All right, I like it.
Thoughts on the game, you mean?
Whatever you want, Cliff.
Anything regarding Florida State. If there's a player that scares you,
I've watched at least half of every one of Florida State's games, I think, this year. I watched the most of it, the Georgia Tech game. And that game, they looked better than they did in any game. And they didn't look good in that game at all. So the rest of the games, I mean, like I said, we're going to come to play. I mean, we've came to play every game so far. So I don't think this being a home game, prime time, 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday when most of us are going to be in the parking lot getting crushed for 3-4 hours, whatever how long we're going to be out there. I don't see us having that much trouble, but like I said, I'm telling you, I have PTSD on these games, dude. I've had this one. Bro, this is
all there, like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I just think our offense, man, people got to remember, we got the number one offense in country. We're literally like LSU a few years ago with Joe Burrow, and I think people are going to start to realize, right, at the worst case scenario, if our defense does not get it together and be better than what it is, at the worst, your offense is going either your offense or you're going to have to create 2, 3, 4 turnovers and end up scoring off of those. But you're going to have to score 40 to 50 points in order to compete against this Miami Hurricane team, because our offense is going to put up 40 to 50 points. There's no doubt about it. So unless we play an opponent that has the offense and the firepower capable of doing that, I'm not worried about any other team we play this year. I would say,
Georgia Tech and Syracuse, because Georgia Tech always plays us tough. I don't know how, but since last year, I'm not sure if, worried. I don't know how worried I am about that game, because I think that Mario's going to have his foot in their ass that game, boy, because of what happened last year, and they don't want to hear about that anymore. And then the other game I would say is Syracuse. The last game, it's going to be cold up here. It's in
the Prairie Dome, though, right? Is it an enclosed
dome? Yeah, it's in a dome, but it'll still be pretty damn cold outside.
Yeah.
So
it's really cool. We need to sell some winter wear.
No,
listen, I've been a fan forever. I was an Oklahoma fan as a really young kid when I went to my first Orange Bowl in 1971. Oklahoma, Michigan, that's another story. I got therapy. But I've been a Canes fan for a long time, way before they were national champions. But once you're in business, it's like, okay, how is this going to affect the business? You want to win, but so everything is like, will we sell more jackets if it's cold that day? Will we sell more beanies? So I'm sorry, I'm segueing there. Okay.
I just pictured you with a Brian Bosworth mohawk.
Yeah.
Well, hey, but before we wrap up and get to score predictions, before I forget, we forget Wake Forest is still on our schedule as well. I think that's a team that nobody brings up, right? But before we forget Wake Forest, let's go ahead and not forget the fan of tonight's show that will be getting that $25 gift card. We're gonna go with Manolo Rivera.
Congratulations, Manolo.
Cam is special. I think that's a perfect comment. As y'all know, like I said before, I'm wearing the Cam Ward #1 jersey. You could get it at CanesWear.com, any color, any size, and I couldn't agree more. Cam Ward is special. We're seeing that each and every week, and he's going to be doing special things on Sundays and Mondays as well. I can definitely see it happening already.
Orange.
Yeah, hey, I don't care where it's at, to be honest with you. I'm a depressed Cowboy fan. I've been a depressed Cowboy fan for about 10, 15 years now, and I've already gone all in with the Ward family and Cam, and I said, wherever you get drafted, bud, that is my new NFL team. I'm not moving till the wheels fall off. So I'm ready to get new attire for an NFL team wherever Cam ends up going.
Cam U, baby. Cam U. So congratulations, Manolo. Please go ahead and either message Brad on Twitter at @TahedaBrad or at Canes_wear, or email me at sales@CanesWear.com. Any of those places, send us your name and your email address so we can get you a $25 gift card. And so do that.
So
Who was that there? Was that
that's the son,
your boy.
Connor.
I didn't even see young Connor, former CanesWear employee number one.
Yeah.
He's a Penn State grad. What's up, Connor?
He's got the scrubs. Hey man, hey Connor, you're fitting in with the Florida State players, man. You're both scrubs.
Connor, look at that. Connor hasn't aged since the day he came to work at CanesWear. He was like number one employee. They're still saying, wow, can anyone here be as good as Connor? He had that streak going. No one's been that good since he left.
Hey, I still use you as a reference for my internship. So
absolutely, you need Connor. A+. Once you're CanesWear family, you're always CanesWear family. All right.
Sure. So
let's go with our predictions. We have a special prediction from Connor. Unless anyone else got anything to add. Got. All right, so let's go. So Cliff, Connor, what are your predictions for the game?
The prediction for the game.
I think we come out very strong from the start, punch them in the mouth. I think we drop 50 on them.
So like to score
50 to 14.
50 to 14.
Yeah.
36-point spread. It covers, Mando. You're the betting guy. Let's go. What else? What do we got?
I'm the betting guy. I think you're the betting guy.
I say
one of us got VIP membership. Wink, wink.
Yeah, not me.
I say 49 to 20.
29 points. Cover the spread again. We got 2 for the spread. What do you got, Mando?
Brad mentioned it, and I think I tweeted it a few days ago. 45-3. Remember that score 2 years ago? I like Brad. I sat in that stadium, stayed way past it was over. That shit hurt like hell. 45-3. Don't let Mario fool you for 1 minute and think that he does not forget that. There's going to be 80 to 100 recruits there, from what I'm hearing or reading. 50-10, Miami.
Okay.
50. That's not a homer pick. They're going to go off.
Yep.
50-10.
Well, very similar to Mando. I was in that stadium 2 years ago when we got our butts kicked. And unfortunately, I was with John Michaels, and we left in the middle of the second quarter. And I'm following him as he's cussing out the security guards and the people that are at the elevators. Everybody, escorting people out, man. So
John,
we're gonna change aspects, and we're gonna be on the good ends. And like I said earlier with the quote of Mario Cristobal, we're gonna switch shoes this Saturday night in the Hard Rock. We got to make sure the fans pack the Rock, like the hashtag has been going around. And man, forget a 50. I'm going 60. I got 62 to 13. 62 to 13. I do not.
We can probably get like 8 on that.
Whoa.
For one, I do not see, and I better not see Florida State score more than 14 points this game, because they have averaged 16 points or less every game this year except the first game, and none of their teams are as good as what Miami has to offer. And we're playing at home with a lot to play against and for. This is a rivalry that we're on a 2-L losing streak, so we got to capitalize on this magical run and season that we got. And of course, we got the number one offense in the country going against not only the worst team in the ACC, but might be the worst team in the country. Cam Ward is going to go off. I expect Emory Williams, Reese Poffenberger. We might even get a fan out the stands that throw a couple passes.
They're right now. They have the worst record. They could be the number one draft pick for Cam Ward next year.
Listen, Brett. What's funny is we're trying to get to our ACC bowl championship and be playoff bowl eligible. But if we give Florida State this L this weekend, I believe they're not going to be bowl eligible.
I think they're now, aren't they? 1-6. No,
they're 1-6. So they got to win out the rest of their season just to possibly be bowl eligible.
Knock them out of a damn bowl contention.
You're correct. You're correct. We can knock them out of the bowl, which is a good point. I mean,
Brad,
I was pushing a bowl ineligible shirt. I said I like my FSU better. What did you have, Cliff?
I want to say, where did Brad and John Michael go after that halftime?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you want me to I need some sponsorship to throw out that gig and name, and I need some sponsorship. I can't just give out my goodies like that.
Yeah, if I know John Michaels well, and I pretty much do. It wasn't the library. That's where they.
It was not the library. It was
Well,
not the library.
we should try to get John on the show one time as a special guest. I know he's a very busy man. He's all over the place, but we should get John on as a special guest.
I can do that anytime you want. Just let me
Anytime
know.
you want, Brad. The dailies, whatever. You know, John's invited to be. He's CanesWear family, and Brad. Obviously, you and him are like brothers. So normally I go 38-13, 38-21. I probably should stick with that, but I'm going 55-20. I think Florida State will score more points than we believe, but 55 to the Canes, 20 for Florida State. I don't know if it'll be 3 touchdowns and a missed extra point where they go for 2, or 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, but 55-20. Either way, 35 points. That covers the spread. So we got 55-20. We got 50 to 50-14, Connor?
Yeah, 50-14.
49
49 what?
20.
20.
I don't know.
Mando, you're 45-10?
No, 50 to 10.
50-10, and Brad is 500-7. I know Brad is what, 62 or 60 to
62-13, and I think the best thing about this game is going to be all the Florida State memes after the game.
All right, well that could. And I'm 55. And I'm 55. Whatever I was, 20. Whoever wins gets a free CanesWear gift card.
My dad don't buy.
$25 to our group. Whoever wins gets a free CanesWear gift card. Look at that, Connor. You're in. Are you excited, Connor?
Hey, my dad doesn't buy gear anymore.
He tried to say,
You two are not allowed to buy gear. I mean, if we never win again, you can never buy another Canes item again. So
I would do it. I have enough gear anyways.
I'm very proud.
That sounds like free sponsorship, Cliff.
Yeah. So, Brad, guys, remember, thank you for everybody for watching the show. CanesWear podcast every Tuesday night, 7 or 8 p.m. Just stay tuned. Every day, just about every day, is the CanesWear Daily Podcast with Brad Tejeda, the best podcaster in America. If he's not, he's going to be there soon. He is working hard. He's the Cam Ward of podcasting. Number 1, numero uno, Brad Tejeda. Mando, you follow him on Twitter. He's always something special. He is the selfie god, even though I haven't seen him pronounce himself as that. He's a 5'3". He's a workaholic, and I don't know how he does it all. And he's a Gambler Anonymous co-conspirator with us.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Mando, thank you for the Tyreek. I like Tyreek Hill. And Mando said, Tyreek Hill's a lock. And I said, sure, let's go. I plunged all my money on that. I don't have gas for this week. Thank you very much, Mando. Now, because of all those bets, I'm a Hard Rock VIP.
Well, that's probably because you made about 17 bets on Drake May over rushing yards.
86 going at the same time.
Shout out to the misses.
I don't even know what I got going on. I said, I won? I didn't know I bet that. Cliff, Uncle Cliff, follow Uncle Cliff on Twitter. He's awesome. He's fantastic. He's always got some good takes on sports and other things as well. And our new special guest here, young Connor. Nephew Connor. Thank you, Connor, for joining the show. You can visit him at some school that's blue and white. By the way, we need a loss from that team, Connor. Or maybe we'll just play him in the national championship.
Hey, I'm going for both of them. But, hey, if they end up playing Miami, you know I'm going Miami over.
Connor, if there's even a thought of that, please never join the show again. Brad, you got anything to take us out? FTSN is our sponsor. Bobby Melendez, the greatest the greatest producer in the world, Finstock Sports Network, FTSN. Follow us. Let's make this show the best show ever. I know we're a bunch of ramblers. Check out Brad every single day. Brad, final thoughts. Buy your FSU Poo shirts. Get the Cane shirt. Tons of good stuff. We got more stuff than you can believe right now. And we got more Cam Ward jerseys. We got Xavier Strepo. We got 88 Xavier Strepo orange jerseys coming in tomorrow. We just got the Xavier Strepo. I know Cliff is a big fan and a big friend of Xavier and family, just like I am. And by the way, guys, I don't think we're 7-0 without Xavier either. That catch he made, I mean, he is special. I really look forward to seeing him with us, and also I think he'll play on Sundays as well. So lots of exciting things.
I'm taking up Brad. Whoever he goes to, that's a new team.
That's
it.
Yeah,
Special players, special team. We got special fans tuned in. Make sure you hit hit that like and subscribe button. We got 4 more other special people besides myself here on the show. Make sure y'all hit the CanesWear Daily Live podcast. I'm going to have Steve Kim and Pete the Greek break down the Florida State games these next couple of days, only on the CanesWear Daily Live podcast. We're out.
Mondo, I can't
guys. Good night and go Canes.
alcoholic beverages with you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Canes.
Go Canes.
Okay.